Welcome to another episode of the School of Farm Hustlers podcast, where we find farm hustlers and farmers who are doing amazing things in the farming space. I'm talking about people who've been there, done that, and are still doing it. Picture this. Imagine being in a situation where you are jobless for 2 years. No idea what you're gonna do next. Checking your phone every day, hoping someone is gonna call you with a job offering. My man went through that for, in fact, as a matter of fact, more than 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna allow him to unpack everything. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dumi, representing Eco Evergreen Vegetables, to the studio. Let's go! My man, welcome,
Thanks
bro.
for having me, man.
Yeah. No, it's an honor to have you, bro. It's an honor. Bro, you've been through the most, Yeah. I mean, I can imagine being a man and being unemployed for 2 years, bro. I want to know, bro, what made you go from being jobless to being the founder of Eco Evergreen Vegetables? What was like the transition and I want to understand.
Well, firstly, we just want to give glory to God,
Amen.
Because I mean that's where it's due.
Amen.
Well, it's a funny story actually. Like you said, I think it was 2 years or more. Actually lost count that I wasn't working, and you're a man yourself, you know how tough it is, having to wake up in the morning and open the gate for your wife
when she's going to work.
She's going to work,
and
then you come back, and I mean, I knocked on every door that you can think of. I sent CVs. I would actually go out and post CVs, physically, and as well as emailing them as well, but I mean no door was opening. Quite a tough one.
Wow.
But then like I said initially, that it was God's grace, because my wife at the time was working for Pick and Pay. Alright, so one day it so happened that I went to fetch her from work, and at the time there was one of the managers, it was a boss's daughter. She was really quite fond of me, so she just said to me, "What are you up to these days?" And I says, "I don't look. I'm just waiting for whatever door that's gonna open. I'm just hanging.
Waiting for the door to open."
Yes.
Yeah.
And she says to me, "No, look, we're actually looking for somebody who can supply vegetables in this shop, because we don't have a reliable supply. So is it something? Say the opportunity was to be given to you. Is it something that you can do?" And without thinking twice, I wanted something to do, so I went like, "Okay, look, I'll do it."
Wow.
Without any experience or anything. So,
So were you not like were you not scared, bro? Like, imagine having done something, you've never done this thing, bro. And this is PK, but we're not talking about like some small time, what was like the thought process of you saying, "Yes, I can do it"? Like, what made you feel like you can tell these people that you can do it, bro?
Okay, so with me, I think it was two things. Mainly just because I'm a Christian man myself, I'm a religious guy. So I did believe, that's right. I did believe that whatever task that I have ahead of me, I will be able to conquer it and accomplish it, because God has got my back. And secondly, as well, I really have to be honest. I mean, it was also because out of desperation. I didn't have anything to do. I mean, look at me now. I'm at home the whole day, coming to fetch the wife around 5 p.m. So when the opportunity came, I didn't think twice. I was like, whatever it is, I'll fail. But even if I do fail, I'll fail, but I'll have tried.
Inspiring, bro. So tell me, bro, like, when was this? Like, when did you start Eco Evergreen Vegetables? When did you start like supplying Pick and Pay with those vegetables, bro?
Okay, I think it was just in the first year of COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
2019.
2019, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably, I think maybe was it June or July?
Yeah.
Somewhere there. So I mean, everybody else is losing work and losing businesses, and here I am being thrown with an opportunity which I didn't even have experience.
Here's the thing, bro. Like we've met, me and you have met actually. Like I've seen you do your thing, bro. You're one of the people that, one of the hard workers that I know, bro. Like, I see you doing the thing. I see you supplying. I see you doing that. But so, like, I want to know, like, before we even get into other details, like, I'm pretty sure you went through some challenges as you were starting out in an industry that's like unfamiliar.
Yes, uncharted territory.
Yeah, uncharted territory, and like, because there's someone right now, bro, sitting at home and thinking I'm jobless, and here you are, bro. Like, you went and created a business for yourself.
Yeah.
So like, what were like some of the challenges that you went through in this journey?
Okay, so firstly, remember now, I remember her name is Natasha, the lady who offered me the opportunity.
Yeah, shout out to Natasha.
Yeah. So now, when Natasha offered me this opportunity now, the first challenge was to find out where I can get the product.
Yeah.
So, and also number two, I really had to ask for a grace period from her to say, no, look, thanks for the opportunity, but it's not something that I can just wake up and start supplying tomorrow. Remember, like I said, I was not working, so the only salary that was coming in was my wife's. So we actually had to wait until it's month end. She gets paid, and then from whatever she's gotten paid, pay the bills, whatever that's left. Then we can use that to start up the supply. So, but the good thing is she was understanding when I asked for some time before I could start. My homework now would be to go to the farms, because I knew where the direction the farms are, but I didn't know anybody. To go to the farms, create contacts, approach people, and just to establish supply.
All right, let me say this real quick. We'll come back to that. So, this podcast is brought to you by Farm Hustler Apparel. Farm Hustler Apparel is all about supporting farmers and farm hustlers in the farming spaces. We're all about sharing awareness in the farming space. We're bringing cool to farming. So make sure you go to www.farmhustlerapparel.co.za and get yourself some merchandise. Winter is upon us. We've got cool hoodies, cool sweaters, cool beanies. Make sure you get yourself some merchandise. Now, bro, my next question is this. So here's the thing. Like, you're supplying vegetables and fruits, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what you need to supply at any given point? Because I'm thinking, they always change.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying because, bro, I like cooking. So there's times where you can't find mushrooms, and then there's times where you. So how do you know? Like, how do you maneuver this thing, bro?
Okay, so with me in this case, I think it's something that came with experience, like having to learn, trial and error. It's something that I really didn't know. But then I also just want to thank these guys that I work with. It's such a great team from Pick and Pay Douglas, though.
Shout out to Pick and Pay Douglas, Kale.
The guys in the fruit and veg, they really coached me into it, because remember now, I was just thrown into the deep end. So I would ask them whenever I would go and supply. I would ask them, so what is in season and when is the season for what exactly? And they'll tell me, well, look, if it's spinach, it's all year round. If it's kale, it's only available between this time. And probably if it's in winter, this is prone to suffering to that, and something like that.
Wow, bro. Because here's the thing. I mean, for me, bro, like, I've always thought, like, in order for you to supply vegetables, maybe you need to be a farmer yourself. And you actually took another route. Like, you didn't need. I mean, people complain, and I'm not invalidating their complaints. I'm just saying, bro. Like, most people feel like you must be a farmer to supply farm produce, and you must have your own thing,
on land and stuff.
But like, how? Like, I want you to take me through a process of you going to those farmers and talking to them, and creating those relationships. You did touch on that, but how did you do that, and how can one do that?
All right, so it's a bit tricky, but I mean, I think it's one of those things that if one is really just focused on wanting something, you are so desperate to the extent that, I mean, you are willing to knock on each and every door. And I'll be honest with you, it's not an easy task. I've gone to farms where, look, I'm not going to mention it, but I've been sworn it, something that I can't even mention now, I've been subjected to, racism,
a lot of things,
and all that stuff, but I mean, I kept on going back. I kept on going back, knocking, and It's funny that one place where I was actually turned away from. At one time, I think it was on my 4th attempt, trying to get to speak to the management. They actually offered to sit down with me, and we spoke, and they liked with the concept that I had. They said, okay, no, look, our only problem is we don't want visitors. Visitors meaning that people who come and they say, okay, look, I want you guys to supply me with this, and they come in for a month or 3 weeks or so, and then they go. They want the constant supply. They want, if I'm gonna be their client, I have to be their client. Like even if we don't sign something.
But it's difficult to guarantee that though.
Well, it is difficult, but I think it's also because they've been played before, where they've sat down in meetings with people, and people promised, heaven and earth, and they never came back.
I mean, so tell me, like, do you have like what's your what's your fast moving product, bro? Do you have like a product that you say like, this is like my best seller, like this is, when we say Eco Evergreen, maybe they know me for spinach, maybe they know me for
this and that.
Like what would you say like is like your best seller?
All right, so overally what we have is, I'll just tell you a bit of everything that we have, and then I'll tell you about it. I'll answer the question. So we've got spinach. We've got spinach in bundles.
Yes.
Like when you go to Pick and Pay, you go to the fruit and veg side, you've got spinach in bundles, that's us supplying. And then we've got spinach that's divine meaning you take out the white part, you just left with the green part. And then it's packaged into your 300 grams package, washed and ready to cook.
Okay.
We've got kale as well. Kale that's in bundles, as well as the one that's cut, ready to cook, 500 grams of a kilo. And then we also have got butternut.
Okay.
Peeled, ready, cubed as well as pumpkin. That also comes in 500 grams, half a kilo. But my favorite, the fast moving, would be kale. Kale and spinach.
Kale and spinach.
Kale and spinach. You can never go wrong though.
Wow. Okay, kale and spinach.
I've seen that people do love those.
Yeah. Like, do you also do like mixed veggies and stuff like that?
Yes. Actually, thanks for the reminder, man. I actually forgot in that part. We do mixed vegetables. It's mainly made of butternut. You've got baby marrows, you've got carrots, you've got red onion, you've got white onion. Sometimes, depending on the client's request, we can put in cauliflower and broccoli.
When you say client request, like, do you supply just the fruit and veg side of Pick and Pay, or maybe the kitchen side of it as well?
Oh no, we do actually supply the kitchen side as well as the fruit and veg. The kitchen side being meaning that when, let's say for example, if you to walk into Pick and Pay now and you were to buy cream spinach, that would be the spinach coming from.
Shout out to Eco Evergreen guys. I mean, wow, bro. One of the things that I've always wondered, man, like when it comes to the industry that you're in, it's not easy to break into Pick and Pay, man.
True.
Like, they're not just gonna take every Jack and Jill and say, we trust that you're gonna supply us every week.
True.
And so I want to know, like, because I understand that you started with one Pick and Pay, but you're now supplying a couple of Pick and Pays.
Yes, sir.
So like, what's like a strategy? Like what's like a growth strategy? What sort of means have you been using to make sure you knock from one door to the next and to the next?
All right, so I was quite fortunate with the first Pick and Pay because, like I mentioned, my wife was working there. But I mean, with any other Pick and Pay, look, it wasn't the same. And I do understand where they're coming from. It's not like they're being mean or anything. I mean, they can't just give it to every Jack and Jill because I mean they've got a brand to maintain. So quality has to be consistent, and even the consistency of you coming to supply as well. They need somebody that they can rely on. But now, to answer your question, what I've done now with another Pick and Pay, which is my second Pick and Pay, I've actually gone there 3 times. I've taken samples, I've asked to see the manager, I've seen the manager, spoke to him, and they say, no, look, we'll speak to the boss, we'll come back to you. They never did come back. I went again and then knocked, same story. I went again and then knocked. And eventually on the 4th time, he said the same thing, I'll come back to you. And actually, when I had forgotten about it, it was a surprise. The guy that just called and says to me, are you still in the supplying business? I said, yeah. He says, okay, cool. Can you supply tomorrow?
So they asked you.
Yes. But remember, it was also partly because I've been
you've been knocking.
Consistently on their back.
Yeah.
So I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, I mean, even if you do get a no the first time, I mean, that doesn't mean that you should walk away and never come back. Perhaps, in my opinion, you might find that person who had just had a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't necessarily bad day, bad man. Yes. Come again, you know what I'm saying? It
doesn't necessarily mean they don't like you or they don't like your product.
But another thing that I find tricky, like in this industry, like I've never done what you're doing. Yeah. I'm a farm hustler, but I've never, done that. With vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I think that there's challenges, or there could be challenges with regards to having or finding reliable suppliers, because what will happen if you have a spinach supplier and you have now 3-4 pick and pays that you supply on a weekly basis and then they run out? Like, how do you do this? Or have you been in that situation maybe?
Actually, it's funny that you mention it. I've been in situations like that. Not only once. Situations. So what I've done is, on the days that I'm not supplying, I've just made it my homework sometimes to still go out there to the farms out of Joburg and introduce myself to the farmers. Get as many contacts as I can, because I mean, to me, those contacts are so valuable. I mean, it doesn't mean if I've got 10 I'm enough. I need to keep getting more, because it so happened that, like you say, I had 2 orders that I received for 2 different shops, and I went to the one supplier that I knew I'm going to get it from, and they had actually sprayed the spinach.
And when they spray, like, how long do they spray for? Like, meaning they spray for the insects, right?
Yes, they spray for
pesticides, right?
Pesticide, yes. So I don't know. I think probably it depends on what it is that they're spraying for exactly. Then that will determine the duration. But it's something that you can't get there and you get it there.
Means you must have plan B, plan C.
So now the good thing about having those contacts that I spoke about earlier. So while I was there, I actually made phone calls. And I didn't really need to come back here. I made phone calls while I was there, and somebody else says, "No, look, I've got spinach. Come through." And it was, I think, about 10-15 k's away from where I was. And I went through. The quality was the same, and I managed to supply.
No, that's proper. That's proper, man. So I mean, talking of reliable suppliers and stuff, like the way I think, I'm the type of guy that would want to start producing my own stuff. Because first of all, you can't trust people. Second of all, I mean, just mastering the whole value chain.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it something that you've thought about, like, like producing your own products?
Oh yes. I think it is the ultimate goal of Evergreen. We do want to supply. Produce our own supply. It's something that we have thought of. It's just that right now, I think I'll be honest with you, I haven't acquired the funds to
do that.
But
you didn't allow it to stop you.
That would be to acquire the land for me to be able to do it. But no, that hasn't stopped me. But ultimately, it's something that I want to do, because remember, like you said, you really can't put your trust in somebody 100% to say, yes, I'm going to wake up and go and get the spinach. What if you get there and they don't have it? So at least if I know it's something that I'm producing, and then it's on me. Exactly.
So like, I've seen your products, right? I've seen your branding.
Yes.
I can see you even rocking it today.
Thanks, man.
So talking of branding, like, what made you start putting all of these stickers and all of these vegetables and all of these things? Like, was it like a requirement from Pick and Pay or what?
To be honest with you, it wasn't a requirement, because I think even if you didn't have a brand, those guys really, it doesn't bother them. They'll still sell the product because they can simply put a stick on it for the pricing. But to me, I think it was for purely for the need for me to establish myself. I just didn't want.
Which you have.
Thanks, man. Didn't want to sort of be like that silent middleman, where I go and fetch it from the farms and I come and sell it to someone else, and they don't know who it is who's doing all this.
You want them to know.
Yes, I want them to know, so that at least if somebody else wants spinach.
Yeah.
Because right now, what I want to do is we want to build the brand to the extent that one day when people search for vegetables, I want to be like one of the top searches.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. No. That brings me to my next question, which actually was like, I mean, bro, you started from zero.
Yeah.
Went on to supply one Pick and Pay, and then went on to supply another one, and another one.
Yeah.
There should be future plans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For Eco Evergreen, like, what would you say? What would you want to see yourself, bro? Like in the next, like, let me not even say like 5 years or whatever, but let's say in the near future.
All right. So one thing that's been on my mind, especially when it comes to growth, it's just, to me, it's the little things that's that I'm gonna use as a stepping stone, getting to the bigger picture. The bigger picture would be to have for me to own my own land. Yes. And be able to produce my own produce.
Yes.
And supply it.
Yes.
So in the near future, something that we are working on now is for us to have a website. So that our clients
can order online.
Yes, and then we have an online shop, so it's easy for them to get hold of us and also shop online as well.
So at the moment, like, what's like your supplying schedule? Like, do you supply, like, how often do you supply the store?
Right. So I supply, I think, about 3 to 4 days now.
Per store?
Per week. Now per week there's one store that I supply 3 days per week.
3 times?
Yes.
Okay.
That'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Okay.
And then there's another shop, two times per week. That'll be Tuesdays and Friday.
Oh man, that's
and
big.
Another one as well. Sometimes we supply even on the weekend, Saturdays.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So people are actually eating a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I thought to myself, maybe it's something that you supply
green.
maybe once a week or something.
No. We are actually quite busy. We're actually quite busy, and I'm grateful for the team that I have as well at home. My lovely wife and the kids. Are always helpful.
It's a team effort.
Yes,
Yeah. So, like, bro, before we move far, like, I mean, I really want people to get a hold of you.
All right.
Like, do you have like a place or some social handles where they can check out your work or connect with you and stuff like that?
All right. They can go get a hold of us on Instagram. That's Echo_Evergreen_vegetables.
Okay.
Echo_Evergreen_vegetables.
Okay.
Right. As well as on Facebook, we are there. It's the same handle.
Yeah.
On Facebook, Echo_Evergreen_vegetables.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but like
just to mention, sorry man, on Facebook it's also got a WhatsApp button. Okay. So
if they want to text
they
you,
click it.
Because you don't know, but like someone is probably gonna watch this and they want vegetables.
Oh yeah.
It's not only just people that want information. You're probably gonna have customers from this whole situation.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, also another thing that we also want to mention. I mean, it's not always just about supplying the shops. Yes. If somebody out there does want the vegetables and
functions and stuff,
something like that, whatever the event is, I mean, we are willing to step up to it.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool, man. Tell me, like, apart from this, the products that you told me.
Yes, sir.
Do you have like certain things that you only supply, like? Because I understand, like with crops, like with vegetables, like you can always have spinach. I mean, there's greenhouses, there's stuff like that. Are there any maybe seasonal products that you supply, say maybe only at this particular, like every year they know that Eco is gonna come with this?
All right. There's green millers.
Oh, green millers?
Yes, green millers. There's a certain time that it's available, and then after that time, it's done.
Okay.
So they do know that. I mean, green millers is coming, so they're excited. We supply that, as well as there's also another like it's just an African Morocco called Rapa. And then we also got in China and all that stuff. Okay. So these things are not always available.
Yeah, those are seasonal products.
Those are seasonal products. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. No, that's dope, bro. So like, tell me, bro, like.
And sweet potato as well. Sorry, man. Forgot to mention.
Sweet potato is also seasonal.
Yes. Yeah. It's not always available all year round.
Really?
But whenever it's available.
If you go to Food Lovers, I thought you can find sweet potato at any time.
You can. But I think what happens now, it's also because some farmers, they have got your greenhouses. So remember now, if it's in the greenhouse, the temperature and the water is controlled. Unlike when it's outside. Yes, when it's outside, the sun, the rain, and all those things have an effect.
Yeah, and also, bro, like, you know, like, I'm a Farm Hustler Apparel, and you already know, bro, like, our vibe is really to promote awareness within the youth when it comes to farming, because farming is something that has always been stigmatized as something that's for the poor. You know what I'm saying? Marginalized.
Definitely.
So, like, I want to know, do you think, like, you can, like, create maybe workshops and stuff like that? You know, like, because there's someone right now sitting at home. And they are jobless. Like, they'll spend also 2 years. They'll spend 2 years.
More.
but like they want to know more.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this episode is just going to share but what we can share today. You know what I'm saying? They want to know more. And have you thought of creating, like, workshops? I'm really all about sharing knowledge. You know, like, this is actually the School of Farm Hustlers podcast. Our mission is to actually share knowledge as much as we can. Have you thought of maybe creating workshops or partnering with people that can create workshops where you can actually share your story and create, like, sort of a workshop where you tell people how they can also do the same?
Right, to be honest with you, it's something that I hadn't thought of. But I'm not.
Now that I've told you.
Now that you say it. Look, I'm not a greedy guy. It's not like I want to keep the information to myself.
To yourself, right?
Should the opportunity be there, and there's somebody else who can actually partner with me to do it, I'm willing to share, man.
Yeah, well, that's why we created the School of Farm Hustlers. In any case, like I said, go to www.farmhustlerapparel.co.za and get yourself some merchandise. We'll be right back. What would you say, like, what would be, like, your piece of advice to anyone? Like I said, there was a time in my life before I got into farming where I was searching everywhere for information. And the thing is, I noticed, well, like I said before in another episode, I noticed that there's a lot of information hoarders. People are not willing to share the game. People just want to be the only ones. But I know for a fact right now there's someone somewhere in a position that you were post-COVID. Like, what would be, like, your advice for someone sitting at home right now unemployed, and they actually they're inspired by your story, because the story is very inspiring.
True.
What would you say would be the first step for that person to take?
Well, like I mentioned earlier on, look, I would like to think that I'm a religious man, you know. So I think the first step would be, you know, even the Bible says this, that seek God first, you know, before everything else. I mean, it's to pray to God, you know, and ask God for guidance. And the secondly, I think, besides the part of praying, I mean, it's something to do with pride. I mean, one shouldn't have the pride. You know, you should just swallow your pride, and you know, keep knocking. You have to ask. Like you said, people are not willing to give the information. So you just have to keep on asking. You know, you just have to keep on knocking. One day, it just so happens that, you know, you're gonna ask somebody, and they're willing to talk, and they're willing to give you the plug. You know, and they plug you in. Like, it's not easy though. That's one thing for sure. We should, I mean, that should be said. It's not going to be an easy task.
No, I hear you, brother. I'm just talking in the context of someone who wants to be a farm hustler like you, with no farm, wants to supply vegetables to a Pick and Pay or a Spa or whatever the case is. What do you think they should do, or what would you say they should do? The first step, because I mean, you came across like your path was different. But there's someone who's going to be listening to this thing and is going to get an aha moment. Like, oh, I can actually do this. What would you say they should do? There's people in Eastern Cape, in Bopo, Kenya. Like, bro, this is the internet. There's people everywhere.
Sure. Well, like you said, not all cases are the same. But I think my advice would be, for one to the homework first would be to establish the supply. That would mean
that's what's up.
That would mean having to go and having a chat with these farmers. Introduce yourself. Yes. Because I mean, I don't think it would make sense for one to go to the Pick and Pay, approach them and tell them, look, I am capable of supplying you guys, and yet they don't know where they're gonna get the next supply. Yeah. What if these guys are so impressed with you, with your talk, and they say come tomorrow and supply? Yeah. So I think it would start with you having to go and find the farmers, having a chat with them, and establish that relationship with them to say, no, look, I'm willing to buy the product from you guys. Is it always going to be available in all those things? And then from there, when you know you have established that, you can approach the shops or whoever it is that you wish to supply.
That's what's up. In all honesty, bro, like I really feel like this conversation is gonna inspire a lot of people. I'm actually inspired myself, bro.
Thank you.
I might start my own. You know what I'm saying? I might start my own. Yeah. But I feel like we're gonna open up the floor. We've got people in the studio. We've got an audience in the studio. We're gonna open up the floor. If there's anybody who wants to ask anything, please come through to Eva, Sev, whoever has a question. Tell us your name and ask your question.
Yes, my name is Efiel. I have a question for you, Dumi. As a man, having to go through the situation where you have to kind of like rely on your wife for her to give you that kind of sense of responsibility as a man, for you to take it as far as you have taken it today. What would you say to other men who are in a position where they kind of like ignore the support that their wives have because of their gender, because they think that they have it all figured out? What kind of advice would you give to fellow men?
All right. I think this worked in my situation. I think at the end of the day, if you are in a relationship or a marriage, the way I see it, I think we just have to work as a team. You understand? And the pride part, the masculine part, has to be thrown away, man. I also want to take this opportunity to, just to send a shout out to my wife. Really supportive. I mean, I would be lying all the time that I wasn't working. I've never felt belittled. I was always given my position as a man, even though I didn't have the money.
That's what's up, bro. We need more women like your wife.
So I guess what I'm trying to say in the end, I mean, if you guys work as a team, both of you guys, I mean, she would see that. I mean, if you were to sort of get an opportunity, she can support it, because I mean, she knows it's for the betterment of the two of you guys. It's just the same way as us as men as well. I mean, I think we should be in a position where whatever it is that our wives do, we should support them. Then vice versa as well. They should support us.
Bro, you strike me like I've got a question of my own.
Come through.
If there's anyone who wants to ask, like, you can just after me. Bro, you strike me like someone who's very principled. Where do you get that from? Like you come across like someone who you live by certain standards.
Well, look, I think this would be something that the old lady instilled in me. Because I mean, when we grew up, it was just the three of us, me, my mom, and my elder brother. The old man wasn't around, so I mean, she had to play both roles and be quite strict, And also, as I grew up and became a man and I left her place, I read the Bible a lot. So I took also some mentorship programs online, where I just follow people like Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Look, man, it's been an honor having you here, guys. Is there another question? If there's a question,
I've got one.
Yes. Your name and your question.
All right. My name is Lloyd.
All right.
I just want to find out. You mentioned you've got some work from which is quite dope, from Pick and Pay. But as a black person without a farm, with a product, and there's so many white farmers with products. How easy is it getting that type of job, being able to supply as well, being an equal with everybody else?
Yeah.
When there's such big names out there, how easy is it, or how hard?
Actually, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's actually quite hard because, I think it's also human nature. We're not going to just implicate the brand Pick and Pay itself. It's just human nature. If I had a certain standard to be maintained, I would obviously want a name that I know, a name that is trusted, which comes into the big white guys that you're talking about, But then I think also persistence, like I said, you go one day, you ask to supply, you catch the guy just on a bad note. It really has nothing to do with who you are or how you presented yourself or the product that you came. But you just caught the man on a bad day. Remember, he's just a human being like you. He's also at work as well. Something pissed him off and he doesn't want to give you the time of the day. But the problem becomes, in my opinion, when we quickly give up. You go to that shop and they say, no, look, you can't supply, we already have a supply. And every time you pass there, you never want to go back in because you always tell yourself, they told me they've got a supply.
Yeah,
it's persistent. You have to keep on coming. Yeah. You have to keep on coming. You actually be for lots of words I'd say a pest, bother them to the extent that one day they'll crack and say, okay, fine, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, brother. Like now I can see, bro, you actually maintain a very positive mental attitude.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Eva, and I wanted to ask, as a father, and having male kids, what knowledge are you feeding your kids in terms of farming, and also with vegetables and so forth? So what are your kids gaining from that? Because
Okay, so I've got 2 daughters and a little boy. So with the little boy, I haven't started yet. He's the youngest. But with the 2 girls, teenagers, they've got their ways, which are different from ours as adults. But I try as much as I can. So what I've done now, instead of me, since the small business, instead of me having to always outsource help from outside. The other one, she's done with school. The other one, she's still in school. But whenever she's not at school, like your holidays, and then she can help out, and then I do give them an incentive. They do get paid every week on Friday. Yeah, so it's something that besides the farming part of it, I know it's a question, but I just want to teach them the responsibility to say, no, look, you're not gonna get anything for free in life. Whatever it is that you want, you gotta work for it. So even when they do ask me for money, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, what do you want to do with it?
Yeah, so it's more like of an entrepreneur.
Yes,
knowledge. I like that.
So even if one day they do decide actually to go into the same business, because remember this business at one point I'm going to leave it to them. If they do decide to go into it, they've already got experience. But even if they do decide that they don't want to go into it, they've got that entrepreneurial mindset to say, whatever it is that you want, you gotta hustle for it, you gotta work for it. Instead of waiting for somebody to give it to you.
That's a word of wisdom right there. Another question?
One last one for me. You coming in during the COVID, pre-COVID era, or during just as it hit. What would you say to somebody who felt like their future was bleak during that time, and now that things are open, and everything is happening? What would you say to them now?
Well, man, I think I would say to them, the pie is big. The pie is big for everybody, we shouldn't throw in the towel. Whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you want to do, you should pursue it. No matter what anybody else says, because at the end of the day, somebody's gonna say something negative. That's just bound to happen. And that shouldn't something that that turns you down or anything like that, or make you think that it's not gonna happen or it's impossible. Whatever that God has ordained for you, then it is for you.
Preach, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this podcast is brought to you by Farm Hustler Apparel. Make sure you go to www.farmhustlerapparel.co.za and copy merchandise. My brother, you're not gonna leave empty-handed. We're gonna make sure we sort you out for this winter.
You too, Kale.
We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate your time. Until next time, bro. Most definitely gonna have you again on the show.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I'll bring some products as well next
time.
Yeah.
But for those people, before we cut, I mean, for those people who did get your handle, where can they get a hold of you so that they can see? You know, I mean, for most people, seeing is believing, bro. Like, where can they find you? Where can they follow you?
All right. So I don't know whether you mean physically.
No. I'm talking about handles. You know, in the digital world. Yeah.
Oh yes. On Instagram, it's Eco
Yes.
_ Evergreen
Yes.
_ Veggies. And then it's the same handle as well on Facebook, Eco _ Evergreen _ Vegetables on Facebook. Like I mentioned, it's also got a WhatsApp button, so you click it, it just leads you straight to me, and then you can place your orders right there.
Alright, as a closing note, bro, like I said, I wanna challenge you, bro.
Yeah.
We need to do a workshop.
Alright.
Let's do a workshop.
I'm good, man.
I'm telling you, bro, by end of 2022, we're gonna change a lot of things. We're gonna create courses, we're gonna create workshops, we're gonna create employment, we're gonna create people who are gonna be self-employed through sharing information. And I appreciate you taking your time and coming here. So I'm gonna be in touch with you, and we're gonna create a workshop.
Yes.
And we're gonna teach people how to be farm hustlers.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.